Hello YouTube, HPZA here today, and as you can see, different scenery. I'm outside because I'm trying something new. I'm not happy with the state of cell phone reviews on YouTube. At the moment, what people generally do is they take the phone out of the box, they switch it on, they show you the menus quickly, they tell you what they think about it within 5 minutes, and if you're extremely lucky, they show you one or two photos that they've taken. I'm not happy with this. So 4 weeks ago I was looking for a phone and I started doing reviews, and all of the reviews online that I saw was basically people just taking the phone out of the box, which I don't see how anyone can create an informed review about a product within half an hour. So I decided to take a gamble, pick up a phone and do my own review, see how that turns out. There's a good possibility this is going to be absolutely terrible. There's also a good possibility that it's going to be great and you guys are going to enjoy it. So without further ado, let's start the review process. I'm going to take this apart and let you guys know. Also, it's a long-term project, so I'm going to be using this phone for about 3 weeks before I even give my final impression about the phone. Thank you. Right, so I just spent about hour, 2 hours quickly on Gearbest, and I'm looking for a phone. And before I start looking, I'll tell you the things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a phone because I work a lot on the phone, so in my opinion, it must have a very good screen resolution. That's the number one thing that needs to pop out for me when I get a phone. It has to be responsive, moderate CPU, and enough memory because I've got a lot of applications open. So I've been going through, and Gearbest has these flash sales on constantly. So it's a very good place to actually get things. I'm just going to remove this quickly for you for now. There we go. There you go. So I found this one here. There's a video of them disassembling it and taking it out of a box, you know, the normal sort of thing. It doesn't show you anything. And it's called a LEAGOO KIICAA mix. Freaking terrible name. The whole LEGO as a brand name, KIICAA as the model. Don't know where they got that from, but the mix is basically Xiaomi has a phone called the Mix, which almost looks identical to this with the screen all the way up. So I'd look, it has 3 gigabytes of RAM, which is the same as my LG G5. That's a very interesting thing that they managed to squeeze that in there. 32 gigabyte ROM, that's the same as my G5. That's very interesting. And this is what strike me on it, $109. Shipping is, if I want a priority line, that's $5.21 only. It's nothing. I mean, that's a peanut. So I had a look, and what I like about Gearbest is the fact that they show you the phones disassembled and things. So I had a look here, and the main features, screen resolution. In that price range, this is the only one of a 1080p screen. I hope it's a real 1080p. It has octa-core MTK, it's a MediaTek chipset. Everyone is running that in this price range. Should be fast enough. I saw some reviews. Once again, they just show you benchmarks. It doesn't mean anything. It has a 13 megapixel front camera, okay, and a 13 megapixel plus 2 megapixel back camera. It's probably not 100% true. No way to tell until you get it. It supports LTE, which I would like to test. And yeah, there is this blurbs about the thing, and blurbs, more blurbs, customer reviews. I also check these, and just like everyone is like, good phone, no cons. Maybe a bit heavy, battery won't last a day if you use social. No, I don't know. Whatever, we'll test that. Speak on top of the phone, very uneasy to have a conversation. Ooh, okay, we'll test that. Till now, 2 cameras. You know your normal thing. You kind of read the reviews and then you decide how you're going to get it. But I already read through all of these, and I kind of just thought, I'm just going to get it over with, get it done. It would be nice if I spoke Russian and could translate all of these. Let's translate this quickly.
This is Russian, translate from Russian, yeah. To English, please. Whew, I don't even know if I'll be able to read that back in Afrikaans. That's about Afrikaans. Let's go here, English. The only thing the developer thought was by placing speaker at the end, a little not convenient, but get used to quickly. So I think that's the major thing. I'm not going to call much, so not a big deal for me. I think this is Portuguese or Spanish. Let's see. That's Italian. Okay. When you end a conversation, the screen remains blank and you can't close the communication unless you press the external key. Red key, thank you. Okay, I don't know about that. We'll see if that's true. But it seems like it has some software bugs. Most of them is just like notes. I don't see any major cons for it. Battery, backplate, plastic, LEGO theme. Yeah, I'll see when I get it. Placement of the speaker on top. So that's basically only the thing that people are complaining about. So I think I'm going to get this one. And yeah, I'm probably going to snip this video in some way on my main video and let you guys know. Anyway. Right, so I haven't opened this up yet. Let's quickly have a look at it and let's see what's in here. Start off, this box is extremely heavy, and here's the actual phone. I'm going to put this to the side quickly. I'll get back to that just now. I mean, that's what you guys like with unboxings, right? So let's pull, shake this through. I mean, this is the first phone unboxing. I don't know what everyone expects me to do. What do people normally do in these? I mean, you kind of like open the phone, switch it on, and then tell everyone stuff that everyone kind of already knows because they probably read the spec sheet somewhere. It's a bit of a... oh, this thing is a... so it all has this... oh, that's nice. It comes with a case. Let's just do this. I mean, that's the quickest way to do it. Okay, so let's see. It comes with a manual. I mean, that's the most important thing ever. Let's see if I can get this open. See what's in here. Yeah, it has actually has a manual. I mean, it's a fantastic start. Let's see what the manual says. Quick guide. Tap the camera icon to open the camera. Mobile performance support a variety of picture modes, HDR, panoramic, automatic, yada yada yada, and it's like in 10 languages, so it's fairly useless. There's a warranty card, so you can actually have a warranty if you send this in. Isn't that awesome? I mean, I will definitely keep this somewhere safe where I won't lose it. And then we've got the charger. I mean, that's what everyone likes seeing with unboxing videos. They like looking at the chargers and the stuff here. So that's the charger. Looks fairly decent. It's rated at 5 volts 2 amp. So according to this, they advertise it as a quick charge, the phone, but it's only 2 amp on the charger, so I don't think it's going to be that quick. We also have one of these neat little SIM card tools that you like stick in and take your SIM card out. We've got headsets and a power supply. Let's check the headset first. Now this phone, of course, is following the international trend where it's USB-C. But what's interesting here is it doesn't include a USB-C adapter so that you can use your own headphones. Which really, that's a big negative for me, because these feel cheap, they feel crap. And I would have expected this to at least have a little adapter so that I can still use that. I mean, let's get this out of here. I mean, that feels very cheap. Also weighs nothing, and this is very cheap. Luckily, I'm not going to worry too much for that. We've got a USB-C charge cable. Also not the best sort of thing, it feels cheap and nasty. And this is actually like a freebie, I don't even know it gets this, but it has a gel protector, which I guess that's useful. So you don't get bad accessories with it. But let's have a look at the main event, and that's it there. It doesn't look too bad, it feels good, it has a weight to it. Okay, I'm just going to remove. Okay, so this basically has a screen protector already on for you, so that's freaking awesome, because I couldn't find screen protectors being sold online for this at all. And let's take the back one off as well. Let's see, this takes 2 Nano SIMs, or it takes a TF card and a Nano SIM. Just kind of awesome. That's not bad. It feels like a good phone. And I already know that the bezels on this isn't as good as the advertised, but apparently it has like 95% coverage or something. So let's check that out. That looks good. It has some weight to it. Into the cheap gel plasticky cover you go. That's totally not going to break in the first week in your pocket. It's a speaker. Oh, it's actually, that is an impressive screen. I mean, that looks pretty darn good.
So I've had it now for about 2 weeks in my pocket. I've been using it daily as a work phone. You can see all of the scratches and the little bit of oil that started building up on the screen and that. I promise you it's far worse on camera. But what's important is you'll notice that the scratches aren't actually on the bezel, it's just on the screen protector. So it is Gorilla Glass apparently, and I think it is. It looks good. It looks like it's not going to go anywhere. But let's take a minute and just actually look at the design. You've got a front-facing camera there. The first speaker, which is your loudspeaker, is there. The earpiece speaker is there. Volume power, and of course the fake dual cameras. The bottom camera doesn't do anything apparently. I must still test this for myself, and you'll probably see when I start reviewing the cameras we'll do all sorts of tests. Okay, so let's start by looking at the unlock features. The first one is double tap and it immediately activates. I have the Google Now launcher on there, which allows me to use the Google Assistant, which I think is the best feature of this entire phone, which basically we're going to test the speaker now. So let's go, okay Google, what is the square root of pi?
According to Quora, it's a positive number whose square is pi. I am not sure what else you are looking for. It's irrational, in fact transcendental. It does come up occasionally in calculus, although not often.
So as you can see, it works every single time perfectly. Fingerprint unlocking works perfectly as long as you keep that little sensor clean. It does have the long press to take you to the home screen. Double tap I think was, or swipe right, or was it left? but you basically, okay, swipe left, you can start closing applications and things. It has all of those features that you normally get on a Samsung. It has available on here, which is great. I love those swiping and everything else. That works well for me. If we take it here, and this is going to decrease the brightness a little bit, and let's just have a look at the actual phone itself, and you'll notice that the interface is extremely quick. They have a few built-in applications on here, and I'm going to start off with the camera. The camera so far, what I really dislike about it is there's not single touch. You can't just go record video and it will automatically start recording. You still have to click record afterwards. The same with pictures. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag affair, but the preview works and you can zoom in. It's ultra smooth, even though I dislike saying that because that's not what I want to review here. And you can swipe up and you can go back. It has all of the normal features that you would expect from a good camera. Everything works fine. The only thing I want to show you here is because the camera is at the bottom, if I go and I want to do a selfie, you'll see that it records from there, and that doesn't give you a good selfie, so you have to every time move it this way through around. But you can then use the volume up with your pinky to take a photo. So there, well, it's supposed to. Of course now, oh, it's in video mode. That explains it. So there we go. So you just use your pinky and you just take a snap like that. That works exactly as you expect it to. I'm really impressed by that. The other thing is it supports a portrait mode, of course, which is nice for navigating. I dislike it when the launcher doesn't support that. I really like that. You'll see it's 4G. I did do a test on 4G and I'll probably play it on screen. This is the only benchmark that I did because it's an imported phone. I wanted to see if it works locally on our local networks in South Africa. I'm glad to report it actually works great. As you can see on screen, it goes up to 30 megabits per second, and this, I chose this location to do it because I've got a 3G LTE router not even 10 meters away from it, and I tested on the router and the router gets like 38 megabits per second. So the modem in here is actually very, very good. We have a few things on here that I just want to demonstrate. The first thing you'll notice is that the screen quality is spectacular. Text is bright and vivid. It has brightness. I'm currently got it on full brightness. I can take it all the way down to there. Okay, it doesn't automatically dim because it doesn't have the sensors on the side, but that's not a problem. And the only other thing you need to remember about this screen being up here is A, no sensors, B, the speaker is there, so you have to put this right up to your ear in this little corner here to here. And that's not a problem, you can still hear fine, so that's not a deal breaker in my opinion. The other thing is because the sensors aren't there, you'll have to manually turn up and down the brightness, which isn't a big con. So what I'm going to do here is I've got my recording application here. We're going to test some games and things, but before we do that I just want to show you guys a demonstration on the screen. So I'm going to go, let's take this to full, and we're going to test the speakers at the same time as well. So I'm just going to go into Kodi. I've also tested Netflix. Netflix works perfectly fine on here. And I'm going to go, not there, I'm going to go into movies. There we go. And let's take, what is a good one here that has a, Angry Video Game Nerd, the movie. I'm sure I won't get a copyright strike from that. The music is in stereo, so both sides actually has it. So if you cover one side, only the other speaker works. So you have to really like cover both sides to get the speakers silent. But you can hear that it's very good sound quality. I am very impressed by it. So let's plug in the controller. I've got one of these cheap Mix-It controllers. And we're going to plug that in and we're going to quickly then test it. Now this controller I bought at Game, which is like a mass electronics store in South Africa, not to do with gaming so much. And it was 100 Rand to do this. It's terrible. The triggers are the worst. You have to pull it all the way. It doesn't click until you like here, then it clicks. So terrible. But nonetheless, for testing that is fine. And we're going to see quickly how it does with gaming. But I do have some games installed, so that's probably going to be the major selling point for a lot of you. Unfortunately, I don't have anything modern because one of the bugs is if you try and go to Humble Bundle, that's all you get. It doesn't want to download my Humble Bundle purchases, which kind of sucks. But I'm going to show you some games. I'll start with the stuff that doesn't work. I'm going to start with Epic Citadel, and I'll show you the bugs that's there, and then I'll go into the Epic stuff. But this is Epic Citadel, and most of you should know this. It's a benchmarking thing released by Epic a few years ago. Sound works fine. I'm just going to keep the sound down to minimum so you can still hear me. Okay. So you see the shadows, there's something wrong with the maths that draws shadows. That for some reason they like too big. So okay. You can see there that the roads are like flashing that. So I think some of the games is based on the Unreal Engine will give you some assholes unless they patched or fixed it. But that's fairly game breaking to me. If you ignore it, just look at the actual graphics. It's spectacular. I mean, look at that gloss effect. That's amazing. And I'm recording this at the same time, so just remember that there's going to be some frame loss due to recording. But you can see that everything just kind of looks great. There's nothing wrong with that. You can hide dance controls. You can't hide because I started it beforehand. But nonetheless, let's get that back. Click this. So that's the bad. Let's go over to the good, and I'm going to start off with this pleasant surprise called Zash 3D, which it's basically a new engine that's fully compatible with the source engine, so you can play all of your source port games. So Half-Life 1, Counter-Strike, all of that works absolutely perfect with it, and yeah, that works great. I just don't have all the keys mapped. For some reason, I don't have crouch mapped. But we can get to the straight to the stage where crouch is needed. Oh, okay. Keep on to demonstrate. This is how smooth this is. You see there the frame rate 64 frames per second. But sometimes in action sequences it will drop off to like 40 or less. But that's Half-Life 1. Running absolutely perfectly.
This train is inbound from level 3 dormitories to Sector C test labs and
I hope you guys can hear me in the audio system.
destination.
That's usually as low as I can set it. But yeah, it runs, and it runs well. I mean, 50 to 60 frames per second. That's fairly good in my opinion.
You must report to Black Mesa personnel for processing before you will be permitted into the high security branch of the transit system.
So let's go and select the folder. So I'm going to go here and I'm just going to say load. Oh, did it overwrite both of my saves? There you go, that's a bit further on. And that you can see there, lots of explosions, drops to like 30. But even on a Pentium board, it's used to be a bit slower, so that's not a big problem in my opinion. So this is about as far as I can go if I'm nothing else. Let me show you definitely how you do that. Okay. So we're going to go into options, controls. So here's jump duck. Okay, there's duck. Okay, I'm done. That's it. It's a spectacular port considering that this is on a handheld. Yep. Let's see if it holds holding for the rest of his life. Oops. Hopefully get for using the controller, but I think that gives you a good demonstration of it actually performing as well as it should. So guys, no matter what I do, you will die. Just the nature of things. Why are you shooting me? Oh, you're shooting me. Okay. AI issues. Yeah, that just works. And it's beautiful to play. I mean, years ago, if I knew about this, I would have loved to play Half-Life on my mobile. I mean, that's just awesome. Yeah, there are some bugs. When it loads, it kind of pushes my back button. I mean, nothing much we can do about that. So yeah, that's it. Oh. Okay, so let's carry on, shall we? That's just a clear indication that we should be playing something else. So, should you actually go out and buy yourself a Chinese phone? I'm going to be 100% honest here, and this is going to be the conclusion of my review. In fact, I'm going to put a timestamp on this so that you can skip to this part right from the get-go. This phone is brilliant for $100. By the time I imported it to South Africa, it costed me about 1,500 Rand, and there's nothing on the market that can even get close to this. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have its problems. The speaker, for instance, that you have to put it across your ear so that you can hear properly, that could be a deal breaker for some people. The other major thing that I've noticed is the touchscreen isn't as accurate as my other phones like the LG. Then the things that come in the box. This is the most useless piece of rubbish ever. It's all plasticky and that. And it doesn't have a USB, it doesn't have an earphone jack, so you have to plug in this piece of rubbish in there, and that is the only way to get music unless you have Bluetooth. Instead, they should have just given you an adapter, in my opinion. Okay, so that's the only negative things I can say. Positives, the battery life is spectacular on this unit. It's the exact same as my LG. I can't complain. It gets me through the day. Okay, so from 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock it'll run,
and then I've got like 25% battery left over. That 25% I then let it run down to about 15%, and then I plug it into charge. And if I plug this one in and my LG at the same time with the quick charge, they both finish at about the same time. So hour and a half, 2 hours, it's done. The CPU in here is extremely fast. I can't fault it. It has enough RAM so that you can open up multiple programs, but I always close that. Productivity wise it's great. And then really the selling feature for this phone is the screen. It's 1080p for 1,500 Rand. You can't get that. Even on the used market, finding a phone for 1,500 Rand with 1080p, it's almost near impossible to do that. So all of the positives and negatives, if you take that into consideration, you need to ask yourself, is it worth buying this? And in my opinion, yes it is. But I wouldn't buy it on my recommendation because I haven't reviewed enough of these Chinese smartphones. I'm going to ask anyone, I'm going to try and get in touch with Banggood or whatever. They're going to say no because my subscriber can't, but I want to review more. So that I know that this one is the best on the market, or the next one is the best on the market, or whatever the case may be, so that I can properly tell you yes, go for it or not. But until then, use your own judgment. Look at what I said and what I showed you today and decide for yourself, is this a phone that you want for yourself? Can you use it? Is it in your budget? And then go for it. We are past the stage of everyone needs a flagship phone to work, because all of the applications, I haven't found a single application yet that's not fast enough using this device. Not one. Okay, and why do we have flagships? The bigger the processor is, the shorter your battery is. The shorter your battery is, the less usage you can get out of it, the more problems it gives you. That LG G5 of mine has the worst screen ever in a smartphone. It has burn-in after 60 seconds of looking at a static image. It burns into the screen. And I'm not joking. Then for the next 2 hours you look at the screen, any dark bits has that burn-in until it disappears. And that takes about 2 hours. I'm going to from now on buy the Chinese phones. Every year I'm going to purchase one, take my phone, throw it away and reuse it as a replacement. For me, value wise, you can't argue with this value proposition. It's good value for money. You get what you pay for and more in it. Okay, and one or two things that's negatives, they're tiny, they're so small that you can just carry on without it. I mean, really, I can use Bluetooth headsets for my playback, and well, the speaker is a bit weird, but I can just move the phone to the corner instead of where I normally have it, and that's fine too. Everything else is perfect. I mean, I'm buying a cable so I can connect it to my TV because the media playback is so nice on there. I'm really impressed by these phones. Very good value for money. You can't go wrong, in my opinion, if you want to do it. But don't take my word for it. Do research, go through, find a phone that fits your niche and your market and go for that. You'll notice that I haven't physically spoken about the specs, I just had them on screen because we're at the stage, in my opinion, where it doesn't matter anymore. The two things that you should look at is RAM, screen resolution. If you like photos, camera resolution. Everything else doesn't matter. We're past that stage. I mean, the new iPhone X and the new Samsung Galaxy Note 8 or whatever, it's like 10 grand a pop or more. Why? There's no reason to go for those. You're just wasting your money. 2 years from now you'll throw it away. 10,000 Rand every 2 years. I mean, you can get a car for that. So, that's me, HP Zeta. Until next time, cheerio.